If you believe betting NBA teams is profitable, sportsbooks love you. This is where people get uncomfortable because it's not fun. Fun is sitting back betting your favorite team and hoping that they win. But fun doesn't always equal profit. Your average sports bettor looks at a game and says, this team's better than that team, so they should win. And that's exactly why they lose. Now imagine you've got 15 ants in a field and you need all 15 of them to do the right thing in order for you to win. Now imagine a different bet where you only need one ant to do absolutely nothing. Which one do you think is easier? Betting NBA teams is asking 15 things to go right. Rotations, coaching decisions, pace, fouls, garbage time, motivation, all of it. And when one thing breaks, the bet dies. This is why betting what feels fun is the fastest way to lose. Now personally, I think it's way more fun to watch 15 ants battle it out than one just stand there and do nothing. But again, fun doesn't always equal profit. I see this every single night with casual bettors. They bet a team, the team doesn't cover, and suddenly it's rigged. But what if I showed you an NBA bet that makes it feel like the game is rigged for you, not against you? Well, that's what I'm about to show you in this video. So let's get into it. So let's go ahead and get into a bet that you can actually win where it feels like it's rigged for you. So what it's going to be is in the NBA, what we're going to look at here is going to be points under. Okay, this is going to be a player prop. So what we're looking for here is we're looking for certain players to go under their points total. Now remember when I said 15 ants on a battlefield, you got to hope that they all do the right thing to be able to actually get what you want and get you that win. Well, that's what an NBA team is. All right. If you're picking an NBA team, you're hoping all these guys do the exact thing that you need them to do in order for that bet to win or for that team to win. Well, with a player prop here, what we're looking at is one player to do absolutely nothing. And how we're going to find that player is going to be in just a couple easy steps. So the first thing that we're going to want to look for here is we want to look for players that are in the starting lineup, because you're rarely going to get somebody that's not in the starting lineup that you could play with their points and do stuff with. So they're in the starting lineup, but their usage rate is either the 4th or 5th worst in the starting lineup. Okay? Again, make sure you understand usage rate. Okay? Usage percentage. And if you guys stay to the end, I'm going to show you exactly where you can get all that information as well, so that way you guys know exactly where to go. But you're looking for the 4th or the 5th person in the rotation in the starting lineup that is in usage rate on that team. Then the next thing we're looking for here is going to be the matchup. So the matchup we want is we want them to be going against, at that position, a team that plays some of the greatest defense against that certain position. Okay, so what we want is this is pretty much the opposite of if you're betting an over on a player prop and you're looking for them to go against a team that is the worst at guarding that position. Well, we want the best now. Okay, so matchup wise, we want the best at guarding that position. So what do we got here? We got a player that's 4th or 5th usage rate in the starting lineup. His matchup he's going against one of the best teams at guarding that position and gives up the least amount of points to that position. Now let's get to number 3. Number 3 is once we find that player and we have that great matchup where he's going against a pretty stiff defense that does not give a lot of points, what we do is now we want to go ahead and we want to see exactly what his percentage is against his alternate points lines. All right, so we want to see what his percent is going to be versus alt points. So what we're going to do is we're going to use an example here now, all right, for number 4. So the example we're going to use here is going to be Jaden McDaniels. All right, he is small forward for the T-Wolves. So when we look at this matchup here, on this given day, he's going against OKC. OKC guards the small forward position, 2nd best in the league. All right, now for him to get under his points, okay, we're going to be looking at alternate points here, and we want to see where the biggest differential is at. So what you would do is you're going to pull up his alt points. So where you can find that at is going to be at FanDuel Your Way, okay? If you go on FanDuel, you go to Your Way, you're able to manipulate the under for the points, for the alternate points. It's pretty easy to do. It's just a meter. You can go select the player and move it up and down. But let's take a look at him to go under 20 points, okay? That's what we're going to look at. So the matchup is great. Okay, he's going against the 2nd best team at guard the small forward position. His under 20 points, right now, the line for that is at minus 320. Now that's an implied probability of about 76%. So now what we need to do is we need to find his true probability of how many times he was able to reach this in the given season that we're looking at. So when we look into that, we're able to find out that he's been able to achieve under this number about 79% of the time on the season. Okay, so we're getting ourselves a 3% edge here. Okay, plus 3%. Now that's what you want. You want to make sure that there is an edge on your side. Okay, because sometimes you'll have everything to line up, and the problem that you'll have is the odds become too high compared to the true probability. And let's say the odds become like an 85% implied probability, where somebody only hits 78% of the time or 79% of the time, and you get a negative edge. You don't want that. What you want is you want the exact edge to be at least, and you want at least 3%, okay? Because there's some times where the sportsbook get really good and they get on like 1% level, but you want at least 3% or more, okay, for an edge to be able to multiply that over time. But again, we got our matchup, we got our player, we go and find the alt points of what we want, we match it to the odds, and you can literally run this type of formula right here for every bit of number on the under. You can do 19, 18, 17, 16, and just see where the edge and the biggest edge lies, all right? This I just kind of shortcutted for you, so that way you can see an example, but this is where the biggest edge lies here, is at 3%. Now, if you guys enjoy these videos, make sure you guys smash that like button. And if you guys want to learn all the other strategies that I have that aren't on YouTube, make sure you guys click the link in the description. Now let's get to the websites where you're going to find this information at. So you can find the usage rate for these guys, okay? That's going to be at Roto Grinders, which is a paid subscription site, okay? But that's good to use to find the usage percentage and defensive matchups and whatnot. The best for the defensive matchups, what you could use is Fantasy Pros, which is free, okay? Fantasy Pros, what you'll do is you'll go to defense versus position in the NBA, okay? NBA, defense versus position. And it'll give you fantasy-wise the numbers, but you'll just see the points. What are in the first column, you'll see the points. You can just filter to the best teams on top for each position, okay? Once you do that, you'll be able to find your player pretty easily. And again, where I said you could find that bet for the under at is going to be in FanDuel. It has to be on the phone, mobile, because for some reason they don't let you do it on desktop and you don't see it on desktop. But it's FanDuel and it says your way. Okay? You see that? You'll see that on the app and you'll be able to see that. You could adjust any player, any of their points, and you'll be able to find that information. Now, for the true percentage of what they hit over time, that's what you'll find on an app called Outlier. Okay? Outlier will give you the percentage for the season of that player being able to hit, 20 points, 25 points, whatever it is, okay? And that is a paid subscription as well. So put a money sign there. So that what you guys know. Money sign there, money sign there. All right, but that is how you will find a bet that actually feels like it's rigged in your favor.